There was a time in the 1980s when music was loud, wild, and just dripping with rebellion. And somewhere, tucked inside that same decade of neon lights and MTV Flash, a few young men were asking a dangerous question. What if we took that same energy and pointed it toward heaven? They weren't polished or backed by a lot of money, and they certainly weren't loved and embraced by everyone. But man, they had a fire, and not just the kind that shakes walls with guitars, but the kind that burned deep inside their bones. The kind that says Jesus deserves all of me, not just the Sunday part. Now picture this: Southern California, hot, gritty, pulsing with punk and hard rock. In a tiny little studio with gear they acquired on a shoestring budget, these sold-out Jesus followers recorded something raw, something they believed could wake up a sleeping church. They'd been playing clubs, sharing stages with bands who mocked and ridiculed the very life they lived. And yet, every night they would bow their heads before hitting the stage, praying that that lost kid out there would find hope through the noise. Around this time, a passionate debate was brewing in the world of Christian music. Some believed that rock was evil and could never be used for the glory of God. Others believed it, like anything else in this life, when surrendered to Jesus, could be redeemed and used for His glory. These guys stepped right into that tension, and they didn't want to fit in. They wanted to stand out. And the song that we're talking about right here would do just that. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't polished, but it was honest, and it was real. One night during their recording sessions, as the story goes, their engineer looked up and said, "You know, that doesn't sound like Christian music to me." And one of the band members looked back with a grin and said, "Good." Because what they wanted to capture wasn't religion, it was relationship. They weren't going for perfection. They were going for passion. They wanted their music to hit you right in the gut, because that's where the power of the gospel lands. Now here's where the story turns. That little album, recorded with borrowed amps and prayers, would go on to shake the Christian rock world. Churches that once closed their doors to that kind of music started opening them. And thousands of teens who thought faith meant boring heard for the first time that following Christ can be loud, raw, and alive. Somewhere in all that noise is a whisper from the heart of the Apostle Paul, who wrote in Romans chapter 12, verse 11, "Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord." That's the heartbeat right there. Zeal, fervor, faith that gets loud and doesn't apologize. Because worship isn't always quiet hymns under stained glass. Sometimes it's amplifiers cranked to 11, sweat, and a voice crying out in a smoky room, "Jesus is Lord." And maybe that's the takeaway here. Whatever your thing is, whether it's music or parenting or being a great employee at that company you work for, don't water it down just to please people. Let your faith shine with authenticity. Let it touch people where they are, not just where they pretend to be. The truth of the gospel doesn't need to be polished. It just needs to be real. The band that dropped this raucous, raw gospel message on us, the Altar Boys. The song, Gut Level Music. Hey friend, if the channel's a blessing to you and you'd like to support my work, consider buying me a cup of coffee. The link's in the description below. I really appreciate it. Dude, if you've never heard the Altar Boys or you haven't heard them in a while, I've got Gut Level Music queued up for you right here, man. Click on it. Let it rock you up. Keep your eyes on Jesus.